Lots of clouds that swooped in today. I also dropped by the post office and sent the drone off. Let's see how this, journey continues, huh? And what's going on today? Conflict around the world, I guess. How about this first one I read? This one says, U.S. drone intercepted by Russian fighter jet crashes into Black Sea. This was no small drone either. It says a Russian Su-27 fighter jet intercepted and struck the propeller of a U.S. military MQ-9 Reaper surveillance drone on Tuesday, causing it to crash into the Black Sea in the first such incident since Russia's invasion of Ukraine over a year ago. NATO's Supreme Allied Commander Europe, U.S. Army General Christopher Cavoli, briefed NATO allies about the incident, which was roundly condemned by the White House and the Pentagon, which warned of the risk of escalation. Two Russian Su-27 jets carried out what the U.S. military described as a reckless intercept of the American spy drone before one of them collided with it at 7:03 a.m. Was it an accident or intentional? By the sounds of this, it seems like it was intentional because it says here, several times before the collision, the Russian fighter jets dumped fuel on the MQ-9, possibly trying to blind or damage it, and flew in front of the unmanned drone in unsafe maneuvers, the U.S. military said. Our MQ-9 aircraft was conducting routine operations in international airspace when it was intercepted and hit by a Russian aircraft, resulting in a crash and complete loss of the MQ-9, U.S. Air Force General James Hecker, who oversees the U.S. Air Force in the region, said in a statement, saying also, quote here, in fact, this unsafe and unprofessional act by the Russians nearly caused both aircraft to crash. It's kind of interesting too, in terms of all these stories of drones hitting fighter jets and so forth. It's always the fighter jets that win, even though this isn't a small drone per se. And as well, I guess with that situation, does it give one country or the other an excuse, say, okay, you did this to us, now we can attack you and so forth? That's a little unfortunate. Let's see where this goes, huh? Some people often say, when it comes to war and stuff like that in the future, it'll be nothing but robots in the battlefield. With that in mind, it was kind of interesting reading this one. As you know, a lot of companies are using AI more in terms of trying to enhance their products or services, and Microsoft is using it for their search engine. So this was kind of interesting, as when it comes to this stuff, you have to kind of develop, guidelines, what's too much, ethically. And it says here, Microsoft has just laid off one of its responsible AI teams. As the company accelerates its push into AI products, the ethics and society team is gone. So what's going on, huh? Did they say something like, hey, this doesn't sound right, and then they go, you're fired or something like that? Microsoft laid off its entire ethics and society team within the artificial intelligence organization as part of the recent layoffs that affected 10,000 employees across the company, Platformer has learned. The move leaves Microsoft without a dedicated team to ensure its AI principles are closely tied to product design at a time when the company is leading the charge to make AI tools available to the mainstream. From the sounds of it anyways, it's basically the company saying they're still, for example, focused in making sure all of their products and AI and so forth are done ethically. Some employees are saying they gave suggestions, but nothing was acted upon it. It's kind of interesting on how they try to find ways that the robot would be, bad per se. I guess in terms of AI ethics, it's kind of interesting, as most people would think just things, for example, the robot shutting computer systems down, blowing things up, activating a nuclear bomb or whatever. Well, this one talks about things such as the robot, plagiarizing or stealing other people's creations in many ways. This one says, last year, the team wrote a memo detailing brand risk associated with the Bing image creator, which uses OpenAI's DALL-E system to create images based on the text prompts. The image tool launched in a handful of countries in October, making it one of the Microsoft's first public collaborations with OpenAI. While text-to-image technology has proved hugely popular, Microsoft researchers correctly predicted that it could also threaten artists' livelihoods by allowing anyone to easily copy their style. And it says here, in testing Bing Image Creator, it was discovered that with a simple prompt, including just the artist's name and medium, painting, printing, photography, and sculpture, generated images were almost impossible to differentiate from the original's work, researchers wrote in the memo. That's kind of interesting in that sense. There were talks about that too, or articles about that, where AI robots could completely replace even artistic work like painting and all that. That's kind of crazy to think about too. As always with tech, there are people who will use it in a bad way and so forth too. So how would you find the balance here? Alright, see you guys later.